Hey, there it is. Let's see how this works. Alright. So I'm just doing a little test here. Just to see if I've got this kind of sounding right and working right. And I figure I'll start with something pretty simple. And also to get some streaming hours under my belt. Some of these services require that of you. So I figure I'll start with something that can easily take a long time, and that game is Foundation. Foundation's really cool. It's a game that is in early access. It's alpha right now. You can get it on either Steam or Good Old Games. I'm not sure if there's any other version that you can get it on, but those two for now. It's a really cool game. It's just we're starting to see a few of these crop up now. It's a city builder set in kind of also sustaining your city with supply chains, kind of like a game like Rise of Industry is one of those, or even something like Surviving Mars has those elements as well. But it also has a pretty good soundtrack. And so we're gonna just kind of chill out. Feel free to hop in, drop a message if you like. I'm gonna start a new game because I just like starting fresh. Let's see. These are pretty good areas, but no access to water on this map, but that's okay. It might make the rainy season a little difficult. We'll start here. Village center. I'll put it near my food. There they are. There are those people. Let's take a look. They look kind of neat. They kind of remind me of a high polygon version of what you saw in what was that game? Black and White game from I believe the early 2000s, late early 2000s. Yeah, they kind of remind me of just kind of a higher detail version of that. All right, let's put these people to work. You need some food. I already got one. All right. Let's see. Oh yeah, lumber. Definitely need that. It's kind of far. I'll put it right there. I'm not very good at planning out these cities. it always tends to go kind of weird. And then we'll do a well here. We'll do a well here. And a stone cutter here. And we'll do one builder. Nope. Just because, I don't know, for some reason I just like kind of watching the one person make it happen. Take a listen to this music for a second. It's pretty good. All right. Get some berries. Now, since I don't have any granary yet, oh, I need a zone here. That's right. There. I mean, they're right. They're right there. You should see them. But fine. I'm the god. I will tell you where to go. Anyway, since I don't have any granary, they're just gonna take them here. But that's all right. Let's get some wood going. Oh, yep. Again. Need a zone. I do like this, though. I like that you can paint zones in, and that way you can control exactly where you want resources to come from. Because if you want to leave some trees around, you can certainly do that. Oh, good. Nobody decided to join my village. Well, that's fine. See if I can't make this a little bigger. The UI is still pretty new, or pretty rough since it's an alpha, but... Though it is pretty customizable, which is nice. You can kind of move stuff around, which is pretty cool. Look at these guys working. They also have time off too, which is kind of nice. Like, look, this person on free time. So that way you can rest and not be overworked. But you do have to kind of time it out. So like when your village gets bigger and you need more people to build, you have a couple different builders and they can work at shifts. Bigger buildings can have more than one person working on them. I like the stereo spread of this game. The imaging's pretty good. If you're listening on headphones or with a pretty good sound bar, you can kind of hear it. All right, we're getting. I guess I should get a granary now. Let's see. I know I'm getting rid of some trees. Sorry, but it's for the good of the village. Yeah, I'm gonna need some stone. Yeah, it's fine. Just got one person unemployed. I'll probably make them the transporter. A transporter, one of the interesting things about the game is that when you have resources, you can put them, they can be stored at the site. Like, for instance, if you look at the gathering hut, it's got 20 berries here, but it can only hold so many. So you build things like granaries, which can store food and stuff like that. You can also build warehouses, which store other goods like wood and ore and that kind of thing. And then you can hold more, and but you do need somebody to transport them from one place to the other. So I'm going to assign a transporter, and they will take berries from here and then deposit them at the granary. And you need to do that in order to sell them at a market. A market, or, well, sorry, you can sell them. You don't need it for sale, but you do need it for trade, because traders will come through, and if you have stuff to sell to a trader, you can make a little extra money, but they won't find anything unless it's in a granary or a warehouse. So these are kind of important buildings. second. It's a really relaxing game. The soundscape they built is actually really nice with the music and the ambient sound. There's no real voice acting at all. I don't know if they're going to plan on adding that later, but it's a very relaxing game to listen to. I like how you can get kind of far down in here too. It's pretty good depth of field as well. Not streaming Cuphead yet. Just saw that on Twitch. Get my headphones back here. I did it again. So I just, not too long ago, I decided to cut all my hair off. After having lots of hair for, oh geez, pretty much all my life. I've never been bald. But when I put headphones on, I'm so used to having to push my hair back that I still do it. I'm probably going to continue doing it for the next year. All right. Are we done here? We are. So let's do some berries here. Because the transporter. I'm going to need somebody to run the market, but I only have 8 people, and they are all employed. So I'm going to have to take somebody out of here and reassign them when I build the market, which I will put. Where do I want to put the market? I like in this latest alpha update, they have pictures of what everything looks like in most of the building spots where you have different components. As it was hard before to kind of visualize what they look like. But now, you can kind of see what they're going to look like before you place them. So it gives you an idea of where to put them, which is kind of nice. Let's see. I need a food stall. I will put it here. Yeah, I'll do the market here. And then you kind of have to plan out where your market's going to be because there's only a certain radius you can put market buildings in. Unless they changed that. I don't know if they did or not. Do a tent. Make it look real nice. And we'll do a food stall in case anyone gets confused as to what this is. 20 wood and 5 cloth, which we have. We do. All right. Get to it, builder. It's not a very exciting game, but that's kind of what I love about it. It's very relaxed, very chill, very kind of sparse. It's not like a lot of city builders that are, they can be relaxing, but they throw a lot of information at you, and there's a lot of stuff to build. But with Foundation, it's just this, and you can put stuff where you want. You have a lot of customization over how you lay things out. The roads get made automatically because they just get made by how the villagers walk along them, which is really cool. It's something I noticed. One of the first things I noticed is that as villagers walk from place to place, the paths and the roads get worn, so you don't even have to build them. Sort of like how in Civilization 6, anyway, when you want to connect two cities, you use a trader and just have them trade from one city to another. They'll build a road automatically, which is kind of what's happening here. And you'll even notice that as the game goes along, the the traders that come through town and the new villagers will eventually wear a path all the way from the edge of the map. No one's coming through yet, so you don't see it, but once they start to visit, you will be able to see that. But I like this. This game gets my heart rate down. How's our market doing here? Okay. Our builder's probably on break. Where is she? There she is. Yep, she's on break. Fine, fine. Guess you need water. It's also nice to just kind of follow the people around, especially when you have traders and other folks coming, like sending soldiers on a mission. You get to follow them, and you'll be able to follow them as they weave a path through the whole landscape. It's kind of neat to watch. Oh yeah, how are we doing on our wood here? We're probably almost out of room. Yeah, let's zone some more of that stuff. Everybody's on break. All right. Oh wait, I need a guy here. So in the market is kind of neat. You can, build as many things as you need to sell what you want, but you need somebody to actually sell it, which is kind of nice. So I have one free villager, I believe, Catherine. So she will become the new market tender for berries. Let's see how good she is at selling berries. I would not be very good at selling berries, but I'm sure Catherine is much more qualified than I am. And we do also have quests. They're adding more little quests in all the time. And they have, kind of a series of tutorial or onboarding quests that you can do to kind of familiarize yourself with the interface and get you through building the basic buildings that your village needs. So I'm pretty much at that point right now. So now I can start planning out more stuff to do. For instance, I'm going to do a sawmill because eventually I'm going to need a warehouse, and a warehouse requires planks, which I can only make with a sawmill. So I may as well build that now. And then when I get more people in, I can make that happen. That's where my market is. I'll put it right here. Notice these little arrows too. That's kind of where the villagers enter. So you can use that to plan your routes. And over there. Aha! Our first immigrant, one person, is joining the village. Nice. But it's not like it is in other city builders where you gain population and they're just instantly there. This person is going to have to come in from somewhere on the map. Let me see if I can find him, actually. This map's kind of big, so I don't know if I'll be able to, but... there's the edge. Let's see. Oh, I finished that. That's awesome. 100. Oh, nice. 100 happiness. That I don't think I've ever done that before. Well, it's easy when your city only has 8 people, so... Let's see. Where are you, new villager? Where are you coming from? It's kind of a nice little Where's Waldo game, meta game built into here. Where are you? Maybe zoomed out too far, I don't know. Let me see. Yep, there they are. Now notice, this person's walking in, but until they enter the border, they are not counted. Until they hit the village center, they're not counted. So... I'm still at 8, even though this person's coming in. And notice, too, you see this faint outline. They're already starting to mark a path in the landscape. So they came from somewhere over here. Let's go back to the center. Bam. There she is. Aha. The kingdom recognizes your efforts in establishing your settlement. So now he's going to give me a quest. I need to promote people now. Oh, warehouse. Gotcha. So I have 1 newcomer and 8 serfs. And those are the ranks of the villagers. So I have 8 serfs, which I guess they need housing now. So you have 3 different estates in this game that demand your attention from time to time. And of course, whichever one you go through will allow you to unlock special buildings, which is pretty cool. Not quite balanced yet, but again, this is the alpha version, so I think it's getting there. But at this point, I'm aiming to unlock the warehouse, because that'll allow me to trade goods, which I'll need for extra money. Let's see. I should get some housing going here. You can also erase these zones when you don't need them, just for organizational sake. It doesn't really matter. Let's throw down some houses, or house area. It's not the best place, but... yeah, let's try here. It's going into some undesirable area, I know, but I need the space. Until I can expand the territory. So now notice I painted the zone and houses just sort of get automatically added. They're just 10 wood each. So notice. And people will go to stay in them until they're built. So you're going to be waiting a while, pal. I may just do another builder just to speed this up. And get some more of this wood out of the way. One big change they made in this was making the Lord Manor a much more attainable thing. It used to cost a lot more resources than it did. And now it's actually kind of an early game thing, to me anyway. So, because it's become a part of the game progression now, because you use it to promote your serfs to, or your newcomers to serfs. So that kind of helps. So that's part of this quest. Build a Lord Manor, assign a Great Hall function to a Lord Manor room. At the end of the month, promote a villager to serf. This music's really perfect for the game. It really fits the vibe of the and the design and the style of the game very well, I think. So I don't know if they've gotten it all done yet, but I hope they continue on this trend. It's really good. You know, I really need some planks. I think I might just switch off a builder to a woodcutter or a carpenter. Start getting these planks now, and then when I'm ready, I can build a warehouse. Ah, new tier of unlockables. Ah, nice. Now I can get the warehouse. I've got some planks going. One of the nice things about building in this game, and some of the bigger projects are beneficiaries of this mechanic, you can place things and kind of plan out where you want buildings to go, even if you don't have the materials ready. You need the money if there's a money cost, but if you don't have the planks or the stone or the whatever, you can place it, and then as the planks come in, the builders will bring them around and finish the building. It may take longer, but if you have a perfect spot you want to put a building in, you can do that without having to wait to get all the materials ready. I think that's pretty smart. So I'm going to display that now with the warehouse. See, it needs 15 planks and 10 stone. And I have the 10 stone, but I only have 6 planks. So I'm going to just place it just because I want to make sure I get it in a spot that I want it. I'll put it here. Central location. Let me get that residential zone out of the way. And so now notice, if that's bringing 6 planks, it needs 15. I only have 8, but she's going to bring the planks and start building anyway. And then as the resources come in, she'll go back and get them and finish the construction. Again, it'll take a little longer, but that's kind of, it's still kind of nice. You can actually build stuff as long as you have the money. Just listen to nature for a second. How are we doing? Only 10 planks, so we need 5 more. So now this builder's just gonna kind of, knock off and wait until the rest of the planks come in, or at least some of the rest of the planks come in. And when they do, she'll continue building. I think they have just placeholder photos here. I'm not sure what their intention is, if they're going to just have a render window with the face or what, but... more people. It's from the 2 people who were passing by. 1 decided to join the village. Awesome. I think that means we might need another house. So we have 10 people now. Let's see if they're coming from the same spot. Which was over here, I think. Let's see. Oh, yep, there they are. Making a long trek into our village. Not worried about getting attacked by a wolf or marauders. Just kind of hanging out in the glen, going to a new village, making a new life. It's kind of nice, right? It's kind of nice. You know, I really, really like this game. I kept seeing it on, I kept seeing it on, pop up on my, good old games recommendations, and it just looked really nice and chill. It looked very open ended, and even in its alpha state, it's a pretty good game. Again, there's a lot of balance issues to work out. I think with getting things up and running, but they're over the last few patches, they are really starting to work that out. They're really starting to work it out. And they have a pretty active community on Discord. So if you join their Discord, they're really good about sharing information. So I would absolutely recommend picking it up if you want something a little different and a little chill. Thanks for the question. I'm surprised there's not much about the game online, actually. I think, actually, if you go to Rock Paper Shotgun, actually there's somebody there that's been playing it. It's either there or Polygon. Somebody there's been playing it and doing kind of like a diary of their adventures, making a foundation city, and it's pretty great. If you want to get a in-depth idea from a game journalist on the game, I really like it though. It's one of my favorite games that I've ever played. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they're doing as it enters beta and as it enters final release, whenever that happens. Yeah, you're welcome. Actually, that's one of the things I like most about this game is when you start getting into the supply chain part of it and expanding your territory, there's a lot that you can do. And when you start building the bigger buildings like churches and wooden keeps for soldiers, you really have a decent amount of customization over how they look. And building them out bigger and planning them is actually part of making them more, giving you more splendor, which helps you unlock more stuff. And it is really gratifying when you finally finish a big building and you got it in the perfect spot. It's really fun. In fact, I think I'm going to expand the territory now because I think I got a free one. Oh no, I gotta wait. Yeah, I definitely recommend it. You can save it. Um, you can save the game and then step away and come back and then continue where you left off. You don't have to start from scratch each time. It's not a game. It's more like a city builder where you can start and continuously build through the city and change how it goes and everything. It's not really, there's not like a competition really in the game. There are objectives, not very many at this moment because it's still alpha, but there are objectives and stuff like that. So yeah, there's you don't have to start from scratch each time, not unless you want to. Maybe you want to draw a different, try a different landscape. Because this landscape I have right now, there's no water, so I can't do any fishing. And there is a mechanic in the game that will kind of screw over food production. It's like bad weather, so I might be in for a tough stretch of bad weather because I don't have anywhere to get good food, but that's part of the challenge, so it's not a big deal. But no, thanks for all the questions. Please ask away. I love talking about this game. Nice, two more villagers. So let's see. I'm gonna do. I've got my warehouse. All right. So now I'm gonna do a trade route once I get enough planks. But I will set this up for tools. And I do have a transporter, so they can move stuff around. I'll put wood in here as well, and stone, and planks. One of the things I do notice is that your warehouses tend to get filled up pretty quickly with stuff, depending on how good your supply chain is. So if you get backed up in a few goods, then it can get a little crazy. Whoop. So. There's my transporter moving stuff. I need one more plank. I think for an alpha, the music and the sound design is actually really, really impressive. Oh, there we go. So now I can unlock the trade route. Oh, I think so. Where'd those things go? Oh, there they go. All right. Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. I was kind of surprised, and I've had this. I've had the alpha for I think a year or so now, and I think maybe I've been through about 5 patches. But even when I first got it, I played it a lot because it felt playable like from the moment I bought it. So I was really surprised at how polished it is right off the bat. And I think that's good portent actually for the finished product. You know, that's kind of what you hope. I mean, I remember when I played the open betas for World of Warcraft, and it was like this is way better than any finished MMO I had played at the time. So for my money, if it plays well in alpha, it's probably going to be pretty good when they're finished with it. Oops, trade here. The interface is still a little clunky, but again, that's just, you know, that's alpha. Berries. I'll trade some berries. Not all of them, though. Still, my favorite part is how the paths just get kind of worn in as the villagers traverse them. That also kind of gives you a good indication of how well laid out your village is. Because people will be more productive if they're closer to where they work. So that's part of the planning of it, just like with most city builders. Again, which I'm not very good at city builders, so I tend to really screw the planning up, but it's still really fun to just think about that. Yeah, I'm the same way. Like, I've moved away from games that stress me out, and I would rather just, you know, a game that's frustrating is fine because you can usually figure your way out of it. But games that just continuously stress me out, I don't have any time for that. So I would rather just play a relaxing game or a fun game, and that's the biggest compliment I can give Foundation is that it's very, to me, it's very relaxing, very slow paced, so you don't have to rush through it. Really, the visual style reminds me a bit of I think I mentioned it earlier, but it reminds me a bit of like Black and White from I think the early aughts, and it reminds me of that, but it's not quite as gamey as that, if we want to put it that way. It's more of a city builder than a strategy game. Oh, oh, there's another person walking in from wherever they came from. Oh, there, from the from the woods. We're getting all of our new people from the woods. That's great. Well, well, Michael Andrew Smith, it's not turn based, so this is all happening in real time. It feels a lot like Civ, especially the new Civs, because it's got this hexagonal thing going on. But it's all in real time, so you can still plan out because it moves so slow. You can still plan out how it's going to lay out, but it also doesn't just stop and then you make your turn and then you go. So that's a good game to remind you of, though. I love Civ. In fact, again, this channel, I started this channel because I wanted to get into game streaming, but also I'm planning on doing a show called Music and Games. The first one I'm going to do is this Friday, January 10th at 7 Mountain Time. And I'm going to be highlighting games with really good sound and music. And Civ 6 is going to be one of them. I believe that's going to be the third show I'm doing in February. And talk about incredible soundtrack. Civ 6 is that. So if you like Civ and you haven't seen Civ 6 yet, maybe you're sitting on Civ 5 and you're hesitant to upgrade, you can take a look at me playing it very badly. I think that's in February. You can follow the page on Facebook. Just look for Music and Games Online, and that name is across Twitch, Facebook, Mixer. So if you want to check out what I'm doing, give a follow, send a nice message. But yeah, Michael, I am gonna be doing Civ, the actual Civ. So oh, really? You played 4? Yeah. I have 4, and I played it a little bit. Yeah, I agree. I agree. That is what makes games great. If you still enjoy them, even if you're not very good at them, that's absolutely what makes it great. And yeah, I played Civ 4 for a little bit, but I didn't really get into it until Civ 5. And that's when I started getting into it. And then I got Civ 6, and I enjoyed that even more. So, especially the music. Holy cow. I actually, it's actually, I'm thinking of getting this one for you. That's my mom. You'll see in the chat. I actually was thinking of getting this one for you because it's very chill and it's kind of a city builder. It looks, I don't know. Take a look and see if it looks fun. I was thinking of getting this one for you actually because I enjoy it. It's there's no combat or any of that stuff. It's again, it's an early game, but it's still really fun. This village is starting to look a little busy now. Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, Ocarina of Time had some fantastic music. I think I learned some of that particular the particular arrangements from that on the piano ages ago. I remember Outpost. I keep looking on good old games to see if they are eventually going to put that on there. I haven't seen it yet, but I remember that game. That's, Outpost. There's a kind of a newer version of that I've gotten that you might like. It's another real-time one, and it's called Surviving Mars. And it's a real-time strategy kind of city builder. There's no fighting or combat or anything, but you basically have to build a colony on Mars and survive. Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna do Breath of the Wild. I have to get a little device that lets me do capture from my Switch, but I absolutely want to highlight Breath of the Wild's music, because especially I read some article or some comment about someone not liking Breath of the Wild's soundtrack, and I'm like, oh man, but it fits the game so perfectly. Oh, and I got an envoy. Let's see. So when an envoy comes in, they are typically wanting you to help one of the three factions, either the king, the clergy, or the people. And usually it means giving them a amount of a resource. So in this case, If I choose to help one of these, I have to give them 30 berries in 60 days. I already have 78 berries, so I should be good there. I just want to decide, I'll help the people. And complete. That was easy. Oh, wait, let me pause. Oh, crap. Nope. I'll go, yeah. I think I got a free territory, so let me see if I can expand somewhere. I can do... yeah, this looks good. You can only really connect, again, with the hexagons. You can connect to territories you own. And eventually I'm going to want to find some iron, because then I can make things like tools. I don't have to import them from other territories. So I don't see any nearby, though. So I may just have to kind of wing it. Yeah, I'll just go here. Oh, nice. Was it original music, or was it licensed, like actual songs, or was it an original soundtrack for that game? Well, again, you can get it on either Good Old Games or Steam. Again, it's in early access, so it's not finished, but it's extremely playable. Oh, that's cool. I'm glad they did original music for that game then. So now I got a new territory. I can think about how I want to expand into it. I'm definitely going to get some of these trees out of the way. Sorry. I am engaging in deforestation, but it is for the greater good. I just feel the need to apologize to the trees every time I do it. I'll probably... Oh, wait. No. I've got 15 people, so there should be a lot of unemployed folks. Let's see. Yeah, there's a few. So I can afford to send out kind of a lumber expedition here. Kind of clear some of these trees out for some wood. Yeah, you know that the 40s jazz feel stuff, that I think one of the games I might do eventually is Grim Fandango, which I even found. I think I bought the soundtrack for that at some point. It was so good. You know, I have not run up against a population cap yet. I think the way that they do it, there's some calculation based on, I think, your city's happiness level, your overall global happiness. And from there, it determines how many people are going to emigrate to your village. every so often. So on the settings here, immigrations every 3 days. And so depending, I think, on how high the happiness is, it will send more people through. But as far as I know, there isn't a population cap. You can lose population if they are dissatisfied enough. And I had that happen, I think, the last game I played. Some people left, I think, because they didn't get to go to church or something. So you can lose population, but I don't think there's a population cap that I've hit yet. Let's see. Yeah, I guess I kind of wish that game was around still so I could try it out again. I don't know if I'd be any better at it now as an adult. Oh yeah, let's see if I can get this Lord Manor going. So the Lord Manor's nice because this is kind of a demonstration of how you can customize your buildings. So there are mandatory parts for this one. Each part is mandatory in this case. So I can build a core. Oh, I was talking about Outpost. So I can build a core, and I can rotate it and position it however I want. Let me put it actually. No, I'll put it here. That's fine. You can also adjust the height. Adjusting the height will increase the cost depending on how high you put it up. I'll put it just there. And of course needs a door, but I can put the door wherever I like. So if I want to, say, make a side ingress, I can do that. Although it's kind of hidden there, but yeah, it's fine. And it needs a tower. So I'll put a tower back here, maybe. Make it pretty tall. And then I can throw in an extension. Now, the nice thing about the way they've done the Lord Manor and similar buildings in the newer updates is you can, each one of these three pieces, you can assign a different function. You don't have to build the they used to be separate pieces, but now you can just build whatever pieces you want and then set a function. So for example, part of the quest is to assign one part of this as a great hall. So I'll have to do that to complete the quest. But the Lord Manor, I can also assign it to increase the treasury, to host people, to multiply the splendor. So they do have different functions you can change and make it kind of convertible. But yeah, I'll make this my crazy Lord Manor. So notice again, I don't have enough planks yet. So I'll start the building, and then as the materials come in, it'll finish. And I might do another builder just to speed this up a bit. So let's go. And off it goes. So in this game, you're just building a city in, you know, a kind of medieval city, um, and really just survive. A lot of it, what I've noticed is, I think the main thrust is building and maintaining supply chains. Again, I think earlier I compared it to Rise of Industry, which is another game I recommend. It's really fun. But in that game, you're building supply chains and making money and surviving that way. Um, this game has that element as kind of its main, one of its main draws. So you're on the one hand, you're maintaining and building supply chains and trading with these other civilizations that really are just, they're fixed. They're not, you know, other actual players. But you can trade with them and make money, and which in turn lets you improve your city. And in this state of the game, there is no online component. This is strictly a single player game. I don't know what their plan is for online, if they're going to do that. I think it's a little early to tell at this point. Um, but yeah, it's just single player, and you're really just kind of building a city, and you get to build it how you want, and let it survive and thrive. That's the main thrust. Okay, thanks, Mom. I'll see you later. Well, I haven't hit the end yet. I I haven't hit the end of the game yet. I imagine the game will end if everybody leaves your city. Um, but I haven't hit a game over yet. So I think it is one of those things. It's sort of like, again, it's sort of like Sim City or Cities Skylines, where you build a city and you just keep building it, and hopefully you've built it well enough that it survives and it thrives and attracts new people. Um, it's a city builder. It's not really a strategy game, though I think it is listed in the strategy section. It's mainly a city builder. So you have to approach it with that Sim City cities skylines mentality rather than a civilization or endless legend mentality. Yeah, you can think of it like that. It's SimCivvy. It's more, yeah, you can kind of think of it as a little bit of a blend. They kind of took the turn-based part out of it, so, but you're not really fighting anybody. I guess there are military missions you can send soldiers out on, and but there's no actual combat that you engage in yet. I don't know if they're planning on doing that in the game. But you can send soldiers out on missions to help the king, the king that you never see but you swear fealty to anyway. And then if you succeed, you get rewards. If you fail, then they die. So yeah, it was more like I wanted a fun, kind of relaxing city builder, and Foundation is absolutely a fun, relaxing city builder. It's not overly complicated. It's complicated enough, you know. And again, the sound design and The soundtrack is really good. It's just very relaxing. Aha! New person! Here they come from the woods, leaving their band of feral humans, joining my village. And again, see, notice now we've had a few people coming through. Now we have a path that's worn here. And that was all done just over time. It's a really, really neat feature of this game. Oh. Defender of the Crown. I'm going to write that down. Oops, not that. Defender of the Crown. What's up, Pops? 272. Slim Jimmy 9791. Banished. No, I have not tried Banished. What's that? What's that all about? Or a survival game? Okay. So is it Banished more like a strategy style game? What would you compare it to? Forest Village. Wow, no, that's not. I'm a Philistine when it comes to gaming anymore. No, I haven't played Forest Village, but I'm gonna write both of those down because I want to check them out. Because I'm on a city builder kick right now, so, and a survival kick. Village. Let's see. Oh, I got this and I didn't even assign anybody. There we go. All right, how are we looking on our thing here? Are we done? We are done. Is Forest Village still in, is it still early access or alpha or something like that? Ugh, that's frustrating. I get it. I mean, it's hard to make a video game, you know, but it's nonetheless dismaying when a game gets abandoned. I've had a couple like that that were never really finished. I'm pretty sure I have at least one or two in my Steam library that were never done. Most of them are not bad. Most of them are still like live and they're being developed, but I'm pretty sure I have one or two that were never finished. I'll switch those. Thanks for the tip. I did not know that. Oh, right. Oh, I see, because it's bigger size, right? Oh, yeah, sure does. I'm just going to do both. I don't have any blueprints yet. Sweet. Though the soldier missions don't give as much gold as they used to. They used to give a lot more gold and wine, and I think with this they don't use it anymore. Yeah, that makes sense. I like how towers look, though. Well, when you put them in a good place. I'm not an architect, so I just kind of put them wherever. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the next one. I mean, I'm on the preview channel on Good Old Games, so I'm actually really excited with the changes they're making. It feels a little more balanced right now, especially with regard to the immigration and some of the missions. Like, there's actual risk now. Nice. I just got it a couple days ago, so I haven't done much with this preview, but I am excited to really get a bigger city going. Aha! Who to promote? Oh, where am I at here? We'll do a transporter and our carpenter. Dismiss. New tier. I like that mechanic too, the promotion mechanic. It's also just another way to control the growth of your city. There were some moments before this patch where I kind of felt the growth of the city was a little hard to control with regard to ranking up your people, and I feel like it's a little more manageable right now. Do the keep. Why not? Military campaigns. Well, all right. I will build a keep so I can serve their majesty. Expand my residential too. Let's do a keep somewhere. I'm gonna do maybe out here. just like too how you can customize some of these bigger buildings. That's pretty great. Not you can't really do that in a lot of other city builders per se. No, I want to save that cloth to resist making flags and stuff because I need the cloth right now. Oh, interesting. So jobs have status now, which is pretty accurate for for medieval times. That's interesting. I like that. So again, that's more just more strategy, more stuff you get to think about. Sweet. What is your strategy for upgrading housing? Like that's something I haven't looked into much, getting it right. Is it just a matter of where the houses are, like the desirability of the area? Okay. So like green area on the heat map. I know you probably don't have to do this, but I'm really pedantic about this. one one new person. One new feral villager from the woods. Ah, nice. That makes sense. Um, so when you're building something, I notice there's usually a green or red ring around it. Does that affect the desirability of the area surrounding it? 'Cause I think that's what it means, but I'm not entirely sure. Okay. That's what I figured, but I wasn't sure. Yeah, church, why not? Gotcha. Totally makes sense. Actually, I think things like the church, I think if I remember, churches have pretty good green rings around them. And another guy here. Oh. That's all right. I want to save this. I kind of like how they just kind of stand there waiting for their house to be built. Anything's better than no shelter, right? Anything's better than nothing. I like getting down real close near too. This kind of zoom level and stuff. This is what reminds me most of black and white. It's getting kind of down to villager level here. Only thing that's missing is a gigantic cow rampaging across the landscape. I have a feeling. Doing here? Oh, okay. Floating tower. Yeah, we'll do a stonemason over here. No. Yeah, we'll do it over here. It's fine. adjust some of my trading there. All right, we'll save there. It's a good place. Good start. I think a good place to stop for now. I really just want to do a test stream to make sure that all of this actually worked. So yeah, this is Music and Games channel. I'm going to be doing actual kind of shows on here featuring games with what I think are really good music and really good sound, kind of trying to highlight that. I'm doing a test run of the show this Friday, January 10th at 7 p.m. Mountain. So if you want to be notified, go ahead and follow the channel, follow on Twitch, follow and like on Facebook. Check us out on Mixer as well. And it's going to be a test run, so it might be a little shaky, but I'm really excited to kind of share what I'm doing with everybody and really highlighting the audio and the sound of these games. So I'm going to try and stay out of the way as much as possible, but I'm going to throw in some info and hopefully point you towards some cool composers and all of that stuff for music and games. So feel free to follow the channel and let me know what you think. And hope you guys are doing all right, and I'll see you soon. No, thank you. Thanks for interacting, and I appreciate all the comments and the commentary and the conversation. It's been really fun. So yeah, I'll see you guys soon. Thanks again.